And welcome to the 2022 Portal Gathering. So this is the Soul Harmony Portal, and the last one we were in was the Sacred Union. And the Sacred Union inside of a collective 1 year was more about the relationship itself. And then this Soul Harmony Portal is really going to be more about like bringing all of that started to come into that sacred unity into harmony in this portal. So as we are building the relationship with ourselves and as we're getting to know maybe this new version of ourselves or this different aspect of ourselves, it's like, okay, so how do we let this be harmonious in who we are, who we're becoming, who we are resonating as, just kind of all of that, right? So I'm not going to talk too much about the energy of this portal. This is what your guides are for. So make sure you go in there and you read them and you check them out. But I do want to say specifically for this year, right? Because it's come with a lot of things. So this portal is happening during an eclipse portal. So we got like double portal energy going on already, and that's a lot. Let's not kid ourselves here. Like that's a freaking lot. Hold on, I just want to grab a different candle. The one I've been using is pretty low, and my lighter's not long enough to reach it. So there. Um, so like that in itself is a lot. It's a lot, right? Because eclipses are going to basically change everything. Okay. And because we are coming out of that collective 9 year, which I still feel like that energy is very present with us. Um, there's still a lot of restructuring, restabilizing, reestablishing. There's been a lot of crumble. So there's a lot of re-entering kind of happening, reorganizing ourselves and our energy as well. Um, so yeah, sorry, I am going to grab just a few notes. I know that you guys have the guide, but I just want to take a look at a couple of things, especially around the what to expect energetically. That's mostly what I want to talk about because that's what we're going to really encounter the most of, um, or just what I feel is important to highlight, right? So, also a really good thing to highlight and point out, and especially coming from the 2-2 portal, is we still have this a lot of two energy, which can bring a lot of sensitivity. So don't be surprised if emotional sensitivity is heightened during this time. And yes, typically the twos are talking about relationships, intimate relationships with a partner. But because it is a collective 1 year, I just feel like this year specifically is like still really focusing on what is your relationship with yourself? How do you how do you care for yourself? How are you caring for your human vessel? How are you caring for yourself energetically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically? All of those things need to come into play when we're talking about our relationship with ourselves, right? Um, Foundations also being very tested at this time. A lot of things that we thought were solid foundations for us has crumbled. It may have happened slowly over the last year, or it may have been dramatic and suddenly over these last several months. Or it may have just began happening for you as of like the one anywhere between the 1-1 and the 2-2 portal as well, because there was a lot of upheaval around identities during that time. And I feel like when our identities are getting shaken, our foundations are as well. Because Master 22 energy is about building lasting structures, but before it can build, it needs to check to make sure that it has that solid foundation, right? So you may feel or notice some frustration around any of your currently unstable routines, clarity about relationships that lack reciprocity. And we can apply this to ourselves as well, right? Like um, how are we giving and receiving to ourselves, right? How are we giving in the way of how are we giving ourselves care? How are we taking care of that physical body? And how then are we allowing that to be received within us as well? But we can look at this as an outside being, human as well, relationship, um, because those are going to come into play with this as well. So you may start to notice, like, this friendship doesn't feel like um, it's mutually beneficial any longer. And let's also keep in mind, because like I hate when people say this, it feels very selfish sometimes in some ways. It's not about what you are able to get from somebody else necessarily, but it is, we need to consider that it is, we have seasons, right? We have ebbs and we have flows. And sometimes we just don't have the capacity to give to our friends in the way that we want to. But over the big picture, is it a pretty equal give and receive, right? Um, because I know that for me specifically, there are times in my life, especially over this last year, where I haven't been a great friend. I haven't had a huge amount of capacity. And that's okay, because if I were to zoom out and look at the broad spectrum of my relationships with these friends, then I know that there have been times where I've given more than they've been able to give. And then right now I'm in a season of receiving more than I am able to give. But again, over the broad scale of it, it's very equal. And it's not that I'm in these friendships for what I can get from them. It's just that mutual love and respect. And if I am not able to pick up all of the slack of the friendship responsibility, I know that they will, because they understand that I'm in this place of low capacity. And if I have another friend, so myself and my other friend are both in low capacity, then we know that, hey, if we can at least just make sure to check in on each other once a week, that's good enough. It doesn't have to be a daily event or whatever. But I'm just sharing that example with you so that you can see, because sometimes I hate when we talk about reciprocity, because it's like, well, you didn't pay attention to XYZ, so therefore I can't be your friend anymore. That feels petty and yucky to me. And I'm not saying that any of you here participate in that. I know that I have in the past definitely participated in that. So I just wanted to like highlight that just in case that is something that you've experienced in your past inside of your own mindset. Yeah, and we'll leave that there. Okay. Through this energy as well, you may have a realization that certain commitments are draining your peace. And remember, anything that costs you your peace is way too expensive. So it's time to create maybe some boundaries or some crumblings of any of those kinds of structures that you already have in place. Um, and then there's also going to be a sense of a desire to restructure your time, your business, or your boundaries. And I found that really interesting when that came up as I was doing my notes, because a lot of this is very intuitively led. I make these like notes about what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what I think is going on, and then I use a little bit of help with ChatGPT to kind of refine the words to make them more cohesive and work together. And when I was talking about, restructuring business, restructuring these things, I had this huge aha moment, because I started working on this just after 2-2 so that I could try to get ahead of it. But then I forgot to finish it, so I didn't get ahead of it at all. But when I came back to it to finish it and looking at restructuring business, that hit me really hard, because that is something that I'm doing, and we're going to talk about that in another time. But there is a massive desire for me to completely change everything that I've been doing. There's things that I'm going to be stepping away from. There's things that I'm going to be stepping into, and it's exciting. But just know that if you're feeling that too, try not to get into the panic, because that's kind of where I've been over the last like week and a bit. Is like a little bit of panic of like, okay, well, if I like really let go of this piece, then what does that mean for this piece over here? How does that then look over here? And like just, and I know it's part of human nature, but I'm going to tell you anyway, just because I have already experienced it. Like, try really hard not to get lost in the loops, right? Just allow things to unfold and be natural, however that may appear itself to you. Anyway, you may also experience relationship mirrors. Because it also like it usually the 222 activates relationship dynamics. But again, because we're in a collective 1 year, I feel like this is really going to be an inward mirror. And I'm going to share another story because this was really interesting to me. And even though it's not specifically about relationships, it's about like the relationship with myself and my judgments that I have. So on, let's see, so that was yesterday. Okay, so on Wednesday, I went to the gym, and I definitely have been having some things around the whole gym experience, especially being around other women and in the women's locker room and things. Like I just feel very uncomfortable around thin women, and I know that that's a me problem. But I noticed that I was getting very judgmental around these very fit, thin, beautiful women, and I was very judgmental because honestly, the underlaying of that was that I was jealous. Okay. And I've been to the gym now for about 3 weeks. There are some faces that I've seen, consistently. And I'm always a very timid type in person. Like, I'm not going to necessarily approach anybody. I'm not necessarily going to say something. Just like I usually will not initiate. Okay. So it also left me feeling very intimidated around these women. So oftentimes I'll just do what I need to do, go work out, come back, put on my bathing suit so I can go hit the hot tub, and then have my shower and be gone and have no kind of interaction with anybody at any point. So after that experience on Wednesday, I had to really sit my own ass down and just be like, okay, I am noticing that I have a very toxic relationship with jealousy. I have a very toxic relationship with judgment. So even though I felt like I have let go of this, there's obviously still pieces and layers of it that exist within me because I used to be one of the most jealous, judgmental bitches you'd ever met. Okay. And I've worked very hard to change that about myself, but there's obviously still some insecurities in some areas. So the mirror then was on yesterday, Thursday. Um, I had some women approach me to speak with me, to share with me, and it was very nice and it was very kind. So, like for instance, there was one woman who was waiting for the machine that I was using, and we didn't really interact a whole lot. But then back at the locker room that after, she's like, "Girl, I saw you. You were working so hard. Like, way to go. Good job." And like this was a very fit, beautiful woman or beautiful woman. And I was just like, oh my God, like she's recognizing like how hard I'm working and what I'm doing. And that felt really nice. So then we got chatting and it was nice. And then not long after that interaction, then there was like another woman that I was having an interaction with. She complimented me on my bathing suit and said she loved the color, the design, all the things. And then we got chatting about things. And then again in the sauna, there was a conversation that was happening, and normally I wouldn't chime in, but I decided to. And it was just a complete opposite experience of the day before. So even though it wasn't like me developing relationships necessarily with these women, it was just recognizing the relationship within myself, within my own toxic traits. And that was a really interesting mirror to notice. So I just wanted to share that because that's a recent story that happened to me as well. So yeah, but within the relationship mirrors, here are some other things that you may experience as craving deeper partnership, noticing imbalances in the giving and the receiving, feeling called to collaborate, and then recognizing where you may have overextended yourself. Because we have to remember that sacred harmony really does require equality. We need that balance, right? And even if in the very moment it doesn't feel balanced, zoom out and see like overall the big picture, does it feel balanced? Because we have to account for capacity for others as well. Excuse me, as I've learned this year, is just so important. You may also notice some nervous system recalibration. So you may experience some fatigue, desire to rest more, need for quiet, and sensory sensitivity as well, because your body is really integrating some coherence. So rest is productive during this portal. And plus, let's not forget that we're also in the eclipse portal. The eclipse portal is about transformation, and transformation is energetically depleting. So, rest, water is going to be very important. Other things that you may experience, practical downloads. So, like just suddenly understanding the how behind the vision, seeing clearly your next steps, receiving strategic clarity as well, or feeling motivated to organize or systemize whatever it is that you're working on, because this is the divine architecture, right? So just really pay attention to those structured insights because they are not random. They're there to serve you. You may also experience patience being required. So you may feel like your patience is being really tested. I feel like my patience has been tested since the day I was born, if I'm honest. But um, it'll unfold in a way where, you may have to sit back and wait to respond to something, because we don't want to come from reactionary. We want to come from response, right? You may need to sit before making any kind of decision. You may need to strengthen before you expand. And like strengthen before you expand, what does that mean? That can mean different things depending on exactly what we're looking at. So to strengthen before expanding, that might be you need to strengthen your spiritual hygiene before you can expand into your next level of your gifts. You may need to expand in your boundary settings so that you can increase your capacity. You may need to strengthen your maybe even your physical body. You need to strengthen your physical body so that you can. I guess you wouldn't really want to expand, so you can reduce, but just so you can expand in more awareness of what a strong body feels like. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's all that we're really going to talk about inside of here. You know, all of the notes are in your guide for you. So we also talk about the exact meaning of sacred harmony and how that works. Inside of this portal, we explore the personal effects for each of the personal or the portal effects for each personal year. So if you're on a personal year one, two, three, etc., all the way through to the masters, then that information is there for you. It'll give you a focus, a challenge, and a ritual idea specifically for you. So make sure you go and check that out too. And then, of course, the ritual goes through a lot of the normal things that I have in all of the guides. So, like your ascension symptoms, your getting prepared, connection, as part of being a part of getting prepared, and then you have your journal prompts. So we're not going to do journal prompts here. If you want to do some journal prompts, there's 11 inside of the guide that you can go check out. And then I have a very specific way to set some intentions, um, creating affirmations. And then we move into a harmony audit, which is like an energetic alignment check. So this is where you're going to do a little bit of observation, a little bit of assessment on yourself as well. And then you can do a structural commitment ritual, which I have outlined for you there as well. So all of that's there for you in the guide. Make sure you go check it out. That's for you. So yeah, make sure you check that out. So just before we get into the meditation, I'm going to pull a card from the Gateway of Light activation by Kyle Gray. I feel like it's been a hot minute since I've like pulled a card for the portal ceremonies, which is strange. Like it's something that I typically always do, but anyway, I know that I have forgotten I know I forgot last time, and then I don't know when the last time was that I actually did, but that's okay. I'm doing it today. So I'm going to call in the guides, Ascended Masters, and Spirit team. What portal, what energy is this portal bringing to this collective specifically? Okay. That one was tipped over, so let me grab that as well. So there's two. Is that all that we have? Okay, thank you. I didn't even get to fully put in my request, but that's okay. That's okay. So I'm not really sure which one to talk about first, but it's very interesting that these are both related to chakras. Okay. And especially this one, because it's the Earth Star chakra, because that is about your foundation, your stability, right? Your Earth Star chakra is literally how you ground. I know there's people that'll say, well, no, you ground through your root chakra. I think both are actually necessary. I don't think one goes beyond the other. And if I'd even take it a step further than that, I think all of the chakras need to be grounded in a certain um to a certain point to be activated, I guess. So yeah, we got the Earth Star activation. So it says anchoring, grounded action, and Isis energy. So let me just find that in here and see what else it has to say. Earth Star activation. So it says the Earth Star chakra found around 6 to 12 inches below our feet. I don't agree with that. I think the Earth Star chakras are on our feet. But anyway, is the energetic portal that connects us directly with the soul wisdom of Mother Earth. It is our gateway to the underworld of the earth, a space of sacred magic and mystery, where we'll find lots of tools, gifts, and skills the ancients used to connect with the earth and her wisdom. The Egyptian goddess Isis appears on this card. I should probably show you. Um, as our spiritual guide. She is a high priestess of the stars who knows the importance of connecting with the underworld to stay grounded, aware, and manifest all that we need to grow. Follow in her footsteps by connecting to your Earth star. So that's just all about like connecting, rooting, grounding, right? And then the second one that came up is one second. And where the I had a quick little location. So anyway, card two is stellar gateway activation. So stellar is above the soul star. So this is like about our infinite potential and manifestation vortex. So while like this portal isn't necessarily about manifestation, we are still creating those foundations and those structures that are supporting those big dream goals, right? So on some level, it is supporting manifestation as well. But I want to read what this says. So it says Stellar Gateway is the highest of our chakras. It is found about 12 to 24 feet above our head. I don't, because it's soul stellar. I'm having a brain fart. Anyway, it is the energetic gateway that connects us with the divine matrix. It governs our connection to the spiritual laws of creation and the quantum field and holds our life potential as it holds all the intentions that we set before this incarnation and all the intentions we set during it that support the ever unfolding path of our earthly experience. Energetically, this portal is beyond time and space, and when we connect with it, we come into alignment with all the aspects of our soul's journey, including when we were part of the cosmos. This card transports us to a stargate that has a giant pyramid within it. Above the stargate, there are three-dimensional images of Thoth, the former priest king of Atlantis, who is one of the ancient masters holding the secrets of the universe. This image is a reminder of our potential and of our ancient and storied connections. The pyramid is a symbol of rising power and how our soul has existed through lifetimes. The Stargate is a projection of our own stellar gateway. This card is therefore a reminder that all things are possible and that when the right then and that with the right alignment we can draw the powers of heaven down to earth in order to create heaven upon earth. So yes, stellar is the highest. I was like, wait. I was like, there was something else, but yeah, so it's Soul Star, Soul Star, Stargate, Stella, something like that. Anyhow, I'm just getting lost in my own. Okay, anywho. So yeah, I found it interesting that like chakra portals came through on this one for sure. Um, I mean, Earth Star not so much because I feel like Earth Star chakra is very, very related to specifically 22, the master builder number, because that is about foundations and structures. Um, Earth Star is about grounding our foundations, the structure of our human, these lovely little meat suits with bones. So, okay. Okay, so I think now, yeah, we're ready for the meditation. So let's just go ahead and move on into the meditation. You're going to take some nice big deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, shut down the eyes, get nice, comfy, cozy, like usual, like we always do here. Just connecting to the body in this moment so that we can be present. I'm going to get some audio going here for us. Some lovely frequency. Breathing, connecting. As you're breathing, I want you to visualize a white light dropping down from the universe, and this white light is absorbing your entire body. It's encompassing your body, your energy fields, just cleansing and purifying as you're breathing. You're breathing in this beautiful white light, and it is penetrating into your lungs, which is then going into your bloodstream, which is then sending purification, cleansing, and healing to all areas of your body. And on your exhale, just know that you're removing anything that is not serving your highest good in this moment. If you are feeling any pain, tension, or discomfort in your body, I want you to breathe into that space. So visualize that space, visualize that breath with those beautiful oxygen cells being sent to it, cleansing and purifying the joint, the muscle, whatever it is that's causing discomfort or pain. And as you're exhaling, you're just seeing that dissolve, all of that pain and discomfort dissolve. And then on the emotional, mental level, we're going to just allow the stress of the day, the week, the month, the year, the lifetime just wash away from us through this white light. And remind ourselves, even if it's just for this moment, we're going to let go of all of the things that might be causing or creating stress in our lives right now. This is just really allowing for your body to feel safe in this moment so that it may receive the light codes that we're about to be bathed in. Right? Once you do feel comfortable, relaxed, and present in your body, just bring your breathing rhythm back to its natural rhythm. Now, in your mind's eye, I want you to see, sense, or just to know that there's a path in front of you. And a little ways ahead, the path divides into two. You're going to see an old structure. It might be crumbling, falling apart. And then on the other side, you're going to see a new structure being built. There's a new foundation of concrete that's been poured. There are support beams in place, some walls, but it might not be complete yet. So again, on one side, you've got this structure. While it looks beautiful and historic, it's crumbling, it's falling apart. You can see cracks in the foundation. You know that that structure is not going to be able to stand in that condition for very much longer. While the other side of it has this energy of hope and newness and renewed energy, renewed foundations as you are witnessing this beautiful, fresh, new foundation, these anchors, support beams, walls that are being created, even though it's not finished and it might not look as pretty on the outside as the crumbling structure, there's something about this new one that's being built that's drawing you in. You're going to walk toward the middle of these two structures. And in front of you, there's going to be a portal that begins to open. It starts very small, like an orb, and it very slowly and steadily is going to open and expand. Beautiful. And once it's in its full expansion, I want you to just witness your portal. Observe, what does it look like? Does it have a shape? Does it have a color? Um, is there anything about the portal that is significant to notice? And just before we step into the portal, we're going to invite in our guides, Ascended Master Spirit Team, any beings of the light that wish to come and share in this light code activation and upgrade to our DNA, who may be able to support, maybe cleanse, purify any physical cells within us that need to be removed or cleansed before we can receive the light codes. We're inviting them in to do any of that work that needs to be done for us. And we say please and thank you with great gratitude in our heart. We're just going to let them surround us and maybe sweep us, cleanse us, however that might look like in your mind's eye. You may just have one guide with you, you may have many. It doesn't matter. Whoever is there is here, there to serve and support you in this journey. We're just going to stay with this energy for a moment. Beautiful. Okay, and then once you feel like your team has completed the task at hand of cleansing and purifying, make sure that they give you some kind of symbol of recognition that you're good to go. Maybe they're giving you a thumbs up, maybe they're waving you ahead, however that may look. And once you are given that signal to move forward, you're going to step into that portal that is existing between the two structures. As you step through that portal, take a few steps in and just observe your surroundings now. Are the structures still next to you, or were you transported somewhere completely different? And just notice what is inside of that space. Is it dark? Is it light? Are there other images of symbolism inside of there. So whatever it might look like or appear like to you, for me, it always kind of looks like a dingy garage where it's not super bright in there. It's kind of dim, it's kind of dark, but there's always like these shelves and these shuttered windows. And on the shelves, I can typically see photos or images of some kind. That's either like an animal or a plant or some kind of symbology that's letting me know something that I need to focus on or something that I need to pay attention to. So just take a moment to notice that. What does that look like for you? What is surrounding you in this space? And it's okay if you want to walk around inside your portal and just really observe and take in the scenery of wherever it is that you may be. Just on your journey of observation, just a little ways ahead, you're going to notice that there's a chair kind of in the middle of the space of where you are. Take note of what the chair looks like. Is it just a log to sit on? Is it a stool? Is it a folding chair? Is it a camp chair? Um, is it a more structured chair, like a dining room chair? Is it like a rocker recliner chair? Is it a high back winged fancy chair? Is it a throne? Just notice. There's no judgment as to what kind of chair you have. Just notice it. And as soon as you make contact with that chair, you notice this beam of white light kind of spotlighting the chair and it's drawing you near. Maybe without any effort or even any cognitive visualization, you may notice yourself just gravitating toward your chair. And you're going to go to it if you're not being pulled. You're going to sit in your chair and you're going to notice how it feels around your body as well. Like, are you feeling supported underneath of you? Are you feeling held? Does it feel cold? Does it feel warm? Again, there's no judgment to what your experience is. It's just an observation, okay? Beautiful. Now that you're sitting in your chair and you're spotlighted by this beautiful white light from the universe, you're going to notice some symbols begin to kind of rain down through this light. These are your light code activations. The ones that are meant for you will imprint into your body, into your DNA, and it will create some structural changes for you as well. And that's what we want in this portal because this portal is about soul harmony. What parts of you as a whole in your soul need some maybe tuning up. And that's what these symbols are going to do. It's going to tune the body to the frequencies and the energetic match of the things that you are truly desiring deep within. So, next, you'll hear me speak in light language. Try not to pass any thoughts or judgments around the language itself, and just observe what is happening around you in your mind's eye, sitting in your chair, in your light. Try to notice the symbols. It's also okay if you can't see them. Just trust and know that they're doing exactly what they need to for you. Beautiful. Just before we begin, let's take one nice big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Beautiful. Yestaya kira tukuya mandakaya takara sasani yatira shori yamindi kire takarata. Kia pratukuya nini neki sasani yatira doyini. Kia farakaya takur sasati atakati kutori yanayante. Esta parakata yeshishoni yaminti kira unama. Esta kaya tikira to yanamati sayan tikira to. Ia para kushine e pitekirata ia para dayene. Vapur yeshine e te atura aya kete yama. Esta kaya tu yamati. Aya sekira tu koya. Ira kaya takara takira manta yasta si kiara kia manta kaya tukuya mana yata kasta e para yata kuya mana yete e krisi sinete ira para kene mono kiana e sakara katayana e sakara yata poriyama ira kia takara e poro yata tekire. Thank you. Clouds may still be raining down, and that's okay. Let them fall, let them imprint. We're going to take a few moments here just to have some integration time with these codes. My friends, that was beautiful. Well, you can follow along if you wish. I'm going to place my hands over my heart space, and I'm just going to have deep gratitude for all of the guides and beings of the light that have assisted us in our upgrades today, for our innate gifts, for the universe, for all of creation, so that we could be here today and experience this in this lifetime, in this timeline, in this dimension. So friends, when you are ready at your own pace and in your own time, we're going to slowly bring our body back into the present moment. Just going to allow that visualization or that knowing in our mind inside of the portal just to slowly fade. We're going to wiggle our toes, wiggle our fingers, and only when you are ready, gently open your eyes. Beautiful. And this is just your reminder that when we do any kind of cleansing, purifying, detoxing, like we do in these ceremonies, in these meditations, it is so important that we drink as much water as possible over the next 48 hours so that we can flush those actual physical toxins that arise through the energy work. It will just really help those codes to integrate further. If you are somebody who is watching this and you are like, what guide? Where do I find the guide for this? That is held exclusively for my members inside of my membership group called the Cosmic Glow Up Club. If you're interested in joining us in that space, we do a lot of really incredible things inside of there. such as ceremonies as this. We also do new and full moon ceremonies. Um, I also do oracle card readings for the members, and then we talk about what to expect in the energy every Monday. And it's mostly backed by numerology, a little bit of what's going on in the astrology, and then just what I am sensing, feeling energetically in the collective as well. So if you have any questions about that, please do let me know. I would love to see you inside of the space. So until next time, namaste, friends.